one of God's smaller creatures is making a big impact on a parish in the Diocese of Brooklyn. Tens of thousands of bees hover over St. Paul and St. Agnes Roman Catholic Church in Cobble Hill. But a priest there says they're not pests. In fact, he says his beekeeping hobby is helping to bring him closer to parishioners. Current News' Katie Vasquez has all the buzz.
3 times a month, Father Alexandre Morard heads up this stairwell, suits up, and heads to this spot above the sacristy.
So the smoke is a sign of danger for them.
A friend gave him some of this beekeeper equipment years ago, but he put it in storage until he joined this church in 2019.
I say, oh yeah, maybe I can start that now. So, but no, I never had the idea before. I never done that before. Just to see all this kind of, cloud of bees coming out and flying around you, yeah, that's impressive.
The bees are currently foraging for nectar and building up their colony for winter. In August, the fruits of his labor will pay off with sweet honey like this.
And then they cap with wax that cell with the honey to protect it from any fermentation and any other impurities.
Father Morard doesn't keep it all to himself.
Maybe we have the chance to see the queen.
He learned about the demand for raw honey and sells little jars to benefit a Brooklyn-based nonprofit, Consolatio, a mission organization.
They don't work, they don't have any subvention, they don't receive any support from local authorities or from the church there, so they have to find a way to support their mission. So I participate to that with the sale of the honey.
He says it's a way for him to unwind when he's not celebrating Mass, but it also helped in his role as a priest.
I like the fact that it also allows me to connect with parishioners and other people because I sell the honey, or because people know that I have these bees, so their children want to know about it.
Morard will let the queen bee and her workers continue their labor until his next visit. In Cobble Hill, Katie Vasquez, Currents News.
6 Jesuits were evicted from their home in Nicaragua. Last Tuesday, the Nicaraguan government took over the University of Central America, which was run by the Jesuits. Days later, the community of Jesuits who worked at the university were kicked out of their home, even though the property near the school is owned by the Jesuit order. The rector of the university's branch in El Salvador spoke about the incident.
They
showed the documents that proved that this property did not belong to the university, but they ignored it and forced the Jesuits to vacate the residence with their belongings and leave.
The government has renamed the university. Thousands of graduating students now fear they will not be able to get their degree. The Society of Jesus is looking for solutions to help those students. Hundreds of people gathered in Brooklyn to protest a plan to house migrants at Floyd Bennett Field. The rally was led by Guardian Angels founder Curtis Lewa.
Look at the massive number of people who have come here from the Rockaways across Skill Hodges Bridge, Brooklyn. They've all assembled here. It's the first of what will be many demonstrations here. We got to stop the tents. We got to stop the migrants from being pushed in here.
The city is hoping to put at least 2,000 newcomers there. Another migrant housing center is coming to New York City, this one on Staten Island. City Hall officials just announced that a former Catholic school, St. John Villa Academy, will begin housing up to 300 adult migrants by the end of the week. Officials expect the emergency shelter will only be a short-term site for a few months. Some local residents have started an online petition against the plan, garnering hundreds of signatures. The Hawaii wildfires and other weather disasters taking a toll on FEMA's disaster fund. The agency's administrator says it is getting close to running out of money.
We know that we have enough money to continue to support the ongoing life-saving efforts.
Criswell says FEMA is able to move forward with its response to Maui's devastating wildfires, but the cost for that operation in a year that's setting records for billion-dollar weather disasters is draining the emergency agency's funds. And this is happening even before the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season arrives. However, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has indicated he expects Congress will approve more funding for FEMA. Right now, there's no end in sight for the relief effort in Hawaii. If you want to help the people in Maui, you can go to the Diocese of Honolulu's website. That's CatholicHawaii.org. You'll see a button labeled Support the Maui Wildfire Relief Efforts on the bottom right. Just 2 days after President Biden visited Maui, the Republicans who want to replace him are set to debate. However, the party frontrunner Donald Trump won't be there. Many are wondering if it'll settle a larger debate, whether we'll see a rematch between Biden and Trump or not.
I don't think anything's inevitable. History is full of folks who, were ahead early and then didn't end up the nominee in both parties.
8 candidates will face off in Milwaukee Wednesday night. Wisconsin has long been a vital stop on the road to the White House, a battleground state that went for Joe Biden in 2020 and Donald Trump in 2016. Cardinal Timothy Dolan is in Ireland to celebrate Mass at St. Patrick's Cathedral in Armagh. Ahead of this Sunday's Mass to commemorate the 150th anniversary of the church, he reflected on the deep faith of the Irish.
It's said when people try to explain the abiding deep faith of the Irish people that one of the reasons is because of the natural beauty of the island, that every day they look out and say, oh my God, who is responsible for this? Whoever he is, he's a wise and omnipotent and omniscient person, and we want to love and serve him.
For this special occasion, Cardinal Dolan will be the main celebrant and preacher at the Mass of Thanksgiving in the Irish Cathedral. In Washington State, the football coach who lost his job for praying after games is back on the field. Joe Kennedy has said his prayer after every game is a covenant between him and God. After losing his job 8 years ago, he sued the Bremerton School District, and his case went all the way to the Supreme Court. Last year, the court ruled in favor of the high school coach, saying the First Amendment protected his prayer with the players. Last week, Joe Kennedy joined the team for their first practice of the season. And before we go, do you have a story idea or want to share a tip? Email us at newstips@desalesmedia.org or call our 24-hour number. That's 718-517-3122. And that is this Currents News Update. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.